want to touch on Urban Meyer and everything that's happened in Jacksonville, or happened in Columbus rather, but with regard to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there's been a lot of people that have called for his head. If Shad Khan wants to fire him, that's his prerogative. If he thinks that he can no longer do the job as head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's between Urban Meyer, Shad Khan, and and his organization, because he's the owner. He's the ultimate guy that makes the decisions. If he thinks this will hurt the PR in the community and people will no longer buy tickets and show up to the games, he has that prerogative. But this doesn't rise to the level of illegality here. And I'm not going to be the moral arbiter for other people's lives. I have my own belief set, and there's things I believe are right and wrong, but that's not for me to impress those views upon other people and tell people to make decisions based upon this. But this is unrelated to the signing of Tim Tebow and anything else. And we hear these rumblings within the locker room. We'll see how they play on Sunday. They come out inspired and play tough. He hasn't lost the locker room. I think Shad Khan will probably keep him. If they don't play inspired, well, then I think Shad Khan has some decisions to make. But everything else is between Urban and his family. And he has to deal with those consequences of the decisions he's made. But there's a lot of people that have done bad things that are really good at their job. The problem is that Urban's 0-4 this year. They had just lost a game to Cincinnati. If they had won that game, I think him being out, what happened being out is irrelevant to this, but it's a lot of it the fact that him being out, not flying back. If you win, then you say you gave everybody the weekend off for the win, but they had a 2-touchdown lead and they didn't close the deal. And now that's why we're seeing this play out. And they've lost 19 in a row, and 15 of them were from the prior year, but it doesn't matter. You're wearing that all together. And so it's all of the critical mass that is just built up over this point. I don't think Shad Khan makes a change. I think he's heavily invested in this unless the team completely derails, which I do not see happening. The bigger thing is, and people are worried about losing the locker room. To me, it's losing your coaches, because great head coaches, whether it's Bill Belichick, Parcells, Urban Meyer, Saban, a lot of these guys are really, really hard on their staff, and your staff has to believe in you, and they have to believe that you're working together towards a common goal, and that they're going to have job security, both because you still have your job and the fact you want them there, and you're selling them on all this stuff and grinding and working hard. You have to wonder whether people will have like one eye, on the horizon and talking to their friends around the league and front office about potential openings other places when the season's over. That is the bigger question for me, is can he get the staff to buy back in? If he can get the leaders in the locker room to buy in, which I think most of the players aren't necessarily looking at this and blowing up at it and saying that this is something that's going to, completely derail the team. But I do think it could end up being the coaches and some of the front office staff and people there that you've asked to buy in and asked to do it, a certain way for you. So I think that's possibly the bigger situation that we'll have to see how it comes out down the road and shakes out. But we'll see on Sunday, how they look and see moving forward. And I'm inclined to think that this thing will be okay. I can't guarantee that, but we live in a news cycle now where it's boom, boom, boom. We're going to rain, 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 pour, pour, pour until the next thing. And so sometimes it's just about surviving the storm, but winning will cure all of it and be able to kind of rectify some of this professionally. Personally, it's a whole nother deal.